The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus said to his disciples, "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father in heaven. Everyone who listens to these words of mine and acts on them will be like a wise man who built his house on a rock. The rain fell, the floods came, and the winds blew and buffeted the house. But it did not collapse. It had been set solidly on rock. And everyone who listens to these words of mine but does not act on them will be like a fool who built his house on sand. The rain fell, the floods came, and the winds blew and buffeted the house, and it collapsed and was completely ruined." The Gospel of the Lord. There's always something slightly comical to me about the word gospel meaning good news, and that proclamation, the good news of the Lord, coming right on the heels of something like, it was collapsed and completely ruined. But the good news of the passage is that the Lord's giving us full knowledge of what it takes to build our house on rock. It means to hear his word and to act on it. Right? The one who builds the house on sand hears the word. They just don't do anything about it. So it's so important for us to make sure that we're examining ourselves and saying, what have I heard and how am I following through on it? There's a lot of ways to follow through, and we should probably try to offer as complete a response as we can without growing, lax on any of it. It's important to respond with prayer and a spiritual life, building a relationship with the Lord, with the communion of saints. It's important to serve. It's important to give what we've received. That if we haven't given it away, then there's a sense that we never had it to begin with. You can only give away that which you truly possess. When I'm talking about giving away, I'm not just talking about feeding hungry people or giving money to those who are poor, providing things that people need, but even more than that, really giving ourselves to people. That if we're talking about a response that is truly fulfilling the law of love that Jesus sets out for us, that means all of the above. Love means, more than anything else, a gift of the self. Here we see Jesus' teaching also fulfilling the Old Testament prophecy. A strong city have we, set up with walls and ramparts to protect us. Jesus does a great deal to protect us with these kinds of teachings. He helps us to know that we have to hear the word and to act on it in order to build our house on rock, to give us a strong city. I'm also struck by the psalm. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endures forever. It's not hard to look around the world and to see all of the many good things. It's easy to spot the bad things too, especially if that's where our focus is. But anytime we see the good, to know that the Lord is behind that in some form or fashion, that he's the one who inspires good. He is the ultimate good. It's hard to define something as simple and transcendent as the good. But it's one of those things that when you see it, it's a very direct reflection of the presence of God in our midst. Even if it comes from a person who doesn't seem to know much about God, that if they know how to love, that they do know something of God. We celebrate today the memorial of St. Francis Xavier, and I, coming from the dentist, forgot to wear white. But St. Francis Xavier knew what it meant to hear the word and to act on it. That's why he's canonized as a saint, this great missionary who left Western Europe for the East, and spread the word of God everywhere he could. He would write letters back to his brother Jesuits in Europe and say, send as many as you can. I never cease being asked to teach people to pray, to baptize, to celebrate the Mass and the sacraments. He was just constantly pouring himself out. He knew what that full response of love to God looked like, and he lived it with excellence. Let's ask him also for his prayers to give us a renewed sense of missionary zeal, that in hearing the word today that we might respond very generously.